We are awaiting response from Judge Juan Merchan to President-elect Trump's last-minute bid to delay sentencing in his New York criminal case. This is the trial involving Stormy Daniels that resulted in a felony conviction on falsifying business records. Many people, including my next guest at the time, said that this was a very, very weak case. It was tried in a New York court, and now Trump's legal team wants this Friday's sentencing delayed again as it appeals this verdict. Judge Merchan has signaled that he will sentence Trump to a, quote, unconditional discharge, meaning that no jail time or other penalties will exist 10 days before his inauguration. So what is the judge's goal here? Let's bring in former federal prosecutor and Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy. Andy, great to have you with us. Happy New Year. It's good to see you. This came from the DA moments ago. It's the last part of a statement that they put out. And it says, contrary to the defendant's claim, the mere fact that he has invoked presidential immunity in an interlocutory appeal does not entitle him to an automatic stay of further trial proceedings pending appeal. Can you unwind that for us?
Yeah, we remember that in the federal case, Martha, particularly the one in Washington, which was clearly based on President Trump's presidential activities in connection with January 6th of 2021 and the events that led up to it, that resulted in an automatic appeal because immunity, like double jeopardy, is one of the few legal issues in the criminal law that you don't have to wait until the end of the case to appeal. You get an instant appeal because the idea is that the problem is not wrongfully convicting someone, it's wrongfully putting them through criminal proceedings in the first place.
Right.
In the New York case, that was not a case that was based at least on allegations involving President Trump's official acts as president. But I think recklessly, Bragg and his prosecutors offered into evidence, and Judge Merchan admitted into evidence of President Trump's presidential activities to the point where they had two White House staffers come in and testify. Right. So that's a big problem for them.
So the argument is that they brought the White House into that courtroom and they, in evidence, they didn't really need to do that. And you feel that that was, hurt their case completely. Jonathan Turley said this about Merchan, who he and you have been very critical of throughout this entire process. The whole point of a trophy kill case is the trophy itself. Merchan will formally label the president-elect a convicted felon. It'll be punishment by soundbite, a historical footnote that will be repeated mantra-like in the media. Your thoughts on that, Andy?
Well, I think John is right about that. I'd also say, Martha, they were doing it anyway. Yeah. You know, people like me were out there saying, well, actually, he's not a convicted felon until he gets sentenced and the judgment is entered. That didn't stop them from using this rhetoric in the campaign. So I don't know how much impact it will actually have. But there's no doubt that the only reason they're doing this is they want to brand Trump a convicted felon. There's no other law enforcement or judicial reason for it. He's already said that even though he agrees that this was like the crime of the century where Trump supposedly stole the 2016 election, he's not going to sentence him to any jail time or even any probation. So this isn't a law enforcement or judicial thing. They want to politically brand this guy a convicted felon. That's what this is about. Yeah.
And it's ironic that the efforts to do that during the campaign period really backfired and blew up in their face because people weren't interested in that as a negative point against the former president, to the point where they dropped it from all of their campaign language because it clearly was hurting them and not helping them. But Merchan is hanging on to it like a piece of meat in a dog's teeth that he just doesn't want to let go of. And this seems to be the last gasp. Andy, thank you very much. We'll see where this goes. Good to have you as always.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.